Hello, everyone. This is Wendy Broom with Guide Technologies. Thank you all for joining us today for our webinar. Today, as the title mentions, we are going to talk about how to automate pricing overrides with Guide's promotions and discounts tool for Infor XA. So on today's webinar, you have a few Guide team members who I'll introduce. I introduced myself, Wendy Broom. I've had about almost a decade of experience working with ERP systems, specifically in manufacturing. We also have Randy Kenny, who is our Guide product expert / manager and consulting manager. And last but certainly not least, we have Julie Shoemaker, who will be presenting today and showing you a live demonstration of promotions and discounts. So thanks again for joining us. And with that, I will hand it off to Julie Shoemaker.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. Just a quick little additional piece of information for those of you who do not know me personally. I have been with Guide Technologies for almost 6 years now, and previous to that, I worked at a manufacturing company as a customer service. I actually started in customer service, working with pricing, and worked my way up to IT director. So this topic is near and dear to my heart. And for those of you who may have attended the last user conference or even user conferences in the past, you may have attended one of my seminars that I do on standard XA pricing. So I'm very well aware of the standard XA pricing and some of the gaps that we have in that product. So I'm super excited about this opportunity that Guide is presenting to all of you, and also to someone like me who loves the product but is well aware of what's missing, to develop something that helps us all do our jobs a little bit better and use XA better. So in particular,
Julie, may I just quickly interject? I apologize. Also just wanted to mention, this is meant to be an interactive event. So as Julie is presenting, please do not hesitate to drop your questions or comments in the chat throughout the event. And then during the Q&A session, we will address any of the questions you have. So thank you.
Thank you for that very much, Wendy. I appreciate that. Yes, definitely ask questions, and we will circle back and address each of those. And we'll also talk about at the end of the presentation how you can contact us should questions arise or interest arise after this call. So let's go ahead and get started in talking about what Guide has and what it looks like today, and then where we're going to go in the future. And that's really the agenda we're going to talk about today. So we have a product. It is brand new. So like any brand new product, I'm very excited about not only what we have, but we're going to be able to take this thing. We'll talk about the current status. We'll do an overview and talk about what is needed for setting it up, the different types of promotions that we have, how to go about creating a promotion and using a promotion. And then we'll talk about the future enhancements that we have already identified and have planned and in the works. We'll have a live demo. I'll show you how to go into the system and actually work through what the slide showed you. And then we'll have a Q&A time period. So let's go ahead and get started. If my button will click, there we go, maybe. Yeah, let's see, there we go. Okay, overview and setup of promotions and discounts. The first part we're going to talk about is just what this product is and how we get it set up. So the purpose of this is looking to fill the gap between price books, contract pricing, and base price that we already have within XA. Typically those work really well, but when you run into situations where we need to have either a better matrix of options for how we select the pricing, or it's a shorter term pricing, or even that we need to offer that pricing above and beyond what XA price books have, we now have a product, hopefully, that will fill that gap for you. So some of the main features that we have right out of the box, we have a flat price, or we have discount promotions. So you can offer a promotion at a set flat price or a discount off of XA pricing. We have an indicator for free freight. So if you have a promotion that includes free freight, we do have an indicator for that. We also have promotional payment terms. So if you'd like to create a promotion in which they get to extend their payment terms by using this promotion, we have that feature built in. When building a promotion, we allow you to select your customers and your items that are included within that promotion by a wide range of criteria, that essentially build a matrix that say customers and items that are included in this particular promotion. And we will definitely take a look at that as we go through the slides in the demo. We give you the option to include and exclude customers as well. So as you build these matrices, you can include specific exceptions or exclude specific exceptions. We also have a feature that allows you to include or exclude price increases. So if I have a promotion going on and during the time of that promotion we have a price increase, depending upon how I set up the promotion, I can either change the price to reflect the new price, or I can hold the price firm and not honor the price increase. Again, we'll take a look at that feature. And then we also have, as far as the application of the promotion itself in the COM order entry, we have it automated, or you can choose to do it manually. So a lot of features right out of the box. Let's talk about the setup. To set this product up, there are a lot of code files. And some of these code files are code files that already exist in your system and we're just utilizing them. A lot of them are one-time only setups. And then we have some ongoing maintenance of code files. So this screen shows a lot of information, but a couple of the features that are in here that these code files control, I want to review with you guys. So the very top bullet pointed one we have is least allowable gross margin. We actually have an object that controls based on the market analysis and on the sales group. So the market analysis code and the sales group code, combination of the customer and the item, you can create a least allowable gross margin. And what happens is if you have this customer, this item, and it appears on a promotion, it will actually give a highlighted red warning that this particular line is below the least allowable gross margin. We have some additional features coming for that. I'll review those when I talk about the future enhancements. But this is where you would go to set that margin, and it can be different for different markets, for different sales group items. We also have a control file that is for entity group exclusions. So you can actually set up entity groups that you wish to exclude from promotions. This obviously only works if you are on IFM or on EFIN. If you are an AM+, you do not have entity groups. However, if you are on IFM or EFIN and you do have entity groups and are using them, you can choose to exclude an entire entity group. This is very useful, we found in EDI. When you have a particular entire group of customers that you do not wish to hit promotions, you can exclude them. We also have an item exclusion. So if you have particular items, and no matter how I set this promotion up, these items are not to ever go on promotion, you can add them to this item exclusion list. And then you don't have to remember to exclude them on every individual promotion. They are permanently excluded unless you choose to override that. If you choose to exclude anything, we have a reason code file over that. So there is a code file for the reason codes that you could choose to exclude. Then there's a couple of system controls. The first one that I have here, literally called system control, sets up the sites the promotions will be used in. So promotions are site specific, and so you do have to select which site you will have the promos available for if you are a multi-site environment. In addition, there is a feature within our promotions that allows you to extend the promotion past the expiration date. So while we tell the customers that the expiration date is October 31st, if we have a customer's order that comes in that first week of November, we may choose to extend it. You do need to set up your number of days. So it can be 0, or it can be any number of days that you set up. What happens is your promotion will go into a tentatively expired status, and you'll be able to track those that are quote unquote expired but still being offered. So it allows for a status change while still allowing the promotion to be applied. We do have a code file for an account manager. This is a code file that is used when promotions are created, and we can assign an owner to that promo, the person who has requested this promotion, the person who is in charge of this promotion, the person who is essentially responsible for what goes on here. And it may not be the same person as setting it up, so that's why it's separate from the create user. We also have a system code elements object. This is a one-time setup. You have to set up your local currency for these promotions. You can have multiple values in here. We also draw on the standard last 3 bullet points. These are standard code files. These are ones that we're just simply adding into this area, can be managed from here or can be managed from wherever you have them being shown in your system today. Item accounting class, item sales group, and market analysis. And you'll see how those are used as we go through the creation of a promotion. So when you go in and log in and go to the promotions tab, this is your initial view. The first tab that you would likely see and spend all of your time in is promotion management. The promo codes is a separate tab. We just kind of went over that. So really you're going to live and breathe in the promo management area of the system. And there are 5 primary objects. Again, using workspaces, you can always break this out. We have one customer who is actually the customer that helped us originate this, that created probably about 6 different workspaces just over the promotions object. So you can definitely take this one step further than what we're showing. But at its base level, we're going to have price deviation, freight, and quote. This is our promo object. And again, you can rename it if you would like to call it something else. We actually call it price deviations, but more commonly known as promotions. This is where you're going to create, maintain, and view all of your promotions. Promo by customer is actually a listing of promotions that have already been approved, and it's by customer. So I can do a quick search to see, I have a customer out there, what promos have they been included upon? What are the status of those promos? And I can see some more detail based on a customer search, not on a promo header search as the first object would give me. We offer that same option for promotions by item. So again, once a promotion has been approved, it goes into this object in a item by item filter, so I can see what promotions out there include this item. I do have a separate object for approvals. Now we can access approvals right from the price deviation object, but we can access it as its own object. So if I am in charge simply of approving promotions from a sales perspective, I don't have to go into the promos. I can just go right into the approvals and see them. And we also have a promotion history object. The history object shows promotions that have been used on orders and all the way through the invoicing process. So this is a good historical view of items and customer combinations that have been invoiced using promotions. And this would be the really helpful one for reporting of usage on your promos. So let's go ahead and talk about the types of promotions that we have available. We have 4 primary types of promotions at this point in time. We have a net price override. So this net price override takes a flat dollar amount and overrides the price of the item based on the set of criteria you've identified. We also have a percent discount. Percent discount can actually be put in as either a discount amount, or it can be put in the opposite format as a multiplier. So in other words, a 90.94 multiplier is the same as a 0.06 discount, and we allow for both methods of entry. We also have a promotion type for freight. At this point in time, it is just a free freight indicator. And then we also have the ability, again, to set up promotions with special terms. The special terms is not actually a promotion type, it's a feature within the promotions, but we're calling it out here because you could create a promotion that has essentially no markup, no discount, no override, and it's just special terms. Or you can add special terms to any of the other types of promotions that you've included. So let's take a look at the most popular type of promotion right out of the box. That's going to be your net price and your percent discount promotions. When I go to create a new promotion, I click on my white piece of paper if I'm in PowerLink or my Plus paper in NetLink, and I'm going to get the template for creating a promo. The system will automatically assign the next number in order as a promo ID, so each promotion has its own unique ID. And then you will select the type of promo that it's going to be. So I have a screenshot here of the drop-down that we currently have. Groups will come up later on in our future development conversation. So I can choose net pricing. I can choose multiplier or flat discount. They're going to act exactly the same. I can choose a freight promotion. If I choose a net price, recognize that it absolutely requires an item, that items be added by item number, because I'm going to flat override each item's pricing. If I choose a multiplier or a discount, then I can start to do groupings of items based on a range of criteria we'll take a look at. If you choose a multiplier or a flat discount type, the percent discount is off of the XA calculated price. And what I mean by that is it is not off of base price. It is off of whatever XA would have calculated that price to be for that customer and that item prior to using promotions. It will go through price book logic. So the promotion is post price book. If you wish to use the promotion without the price book, you're going to have to redirect the order not to use the price book. We are written to go off of XA standard pricing. So if I choose a free freight, I'm not looking really at that point to discount. I am looking to give a comment. And at this point in time, that is all it is. We do have future development for this. But essentially, you would select the customers and the items, and you would do the same steps. And actually, this guy seems to be a little bit out of order. So we'll take a look at this a little bit later again. We'll come back. But what will happen here is that I will get a comment like what is shown in the screenshot on the right-hand side here, where I will, within the comments, be telling the shipping department or the billers to not charge freight, that there is free freight. So it adds the comment as an indicator. If we do special terms, this is how the special terms look. You actually, again, include this as part of your standard net price or flat price discount. You select the customers, you select the items, and then when you generate and submit for approval, it will actually ask you to say, what would I like the override terms to be? And again, I think in the live demo, we'll take a look at this and it'll make a lot more sense. But when I set the promotion up, I will say I'm going to extend everyone's terms 30 days. And once I submit this, it will then ask me, it will calculate each customer's terms, and it will ask me to adjust their terms for that 30 days. And when their invoice is generated, it will honor those overridden terms. So let's talk about what it actually takes to create a promotion. When I go in to create a promotion, after I filled out my template and I hit the enter button, I am going to go to a general tab. That's the very first thing. And this is where all of my promotion specific type of setup occurs. So I'm going to give, the first thing I'm going to be asked to do is give a description of this promotion. This is what appears on the customer facing documents. So this will appear as a line item comment on items that receive the promotion. It will appear as an order comment in the case of freight. This is something that you want to make sure is useful to the customer and has meaning to them. The next description down, the internal description, only gets seen within XA. It doesn't print anywhere. So this is where I might give more detail at a quick high level of who is included in this promotion, or specifically what the discount is that I'm giving on this promotion if it's not obvious from the initial description. This is just an internal cue to my users so that they don't have to open up detail and maybe dig through this promotion to figure out what's going on. Requested by is your account manager. So this could be the same as the create user, but it could very well be someone different. For example, I may have a sales staff team who is requesting a promotion, or a marketing team who's requesting promotion, and an admin person who is actually setting them up. So it could be somebody that in marketing that is requesting and someone in sales that's setting it up, or vice versa, or everything could be filtering through an office admin. So the requested by is the person who has asked for this promotion and owns this promotion. I'm going to put a start and an end date. Pretty obvious. The little asterisk there is to indicate, though, that the end date isn't really the end date if you use the tentative expiration feature. But this is the start and the end date for this promotion and how it's going to run. Then the next three checkboxes, these are how this promotion is going to operate within the system. The first thing that I need to do is set whether I want this to be a manually applied promotion or not. So when we go through the steps of actually adding this, using this promotion in COM, I have two options. I can either manually apply it or I can select a template that auto applies it. However, if I do not manually apply and the promotion itself is set to manually apply yes, then the promotion will not occur. So this is the decision that has to be made. Are we going to manually do this as they come in, or is this something that we want the system to auto do? The next one is price increase allowed. As I mentioned before, this says when I recalculate pricing at the end of every night, do I want to account for any price increases that have gone on? Yes or no? And also, I mentioned when I was talking about code files that we have the ability to have excluded items that I do not wish to be included in promotions. However, at the promo level, I can choose to include those excluded items on the rare occasion that that's actually going to happen. So most of the time this should be set to no, but there is the ability to override that and set it to yes. The next set of options on my general tab, and this is a big tab, I know this is a lot of information out here, but now I'm going to go ahead and set, in this particular case, I am choosing to do this as a, ironically enough, it says net price, but if I was to do this one as a percent discount, I would either choose to put in a value in the order discount percent or the order multiplier. Again, the difference between 90 and 10. It is a whole number, so you don't use decimals, you'll put in the whole entire number. If I choose to do an order multiplier, I actually can override the calculated XA price to take this off of base. So that is what the multiplier pricing method, that drop down, it actually says that I want this to come from base price or I want this to come from customer price, which is the XA calculated price. So I can choose to do it off of base if need be. The number of days to extend the terms. If you want this promotion to include that feature, you put in the value of what you're going to extend the terms by. If you leave it at 0, it will not extend terms. If you put a value in there, it will expect every customer to be addressed as far as what their terms will be. Additional discount, you actually have the ability to apply a different separate percent discount after the promotion. So if as part of the promotion, it was a flat amount less 5, and that flat amount was maybe something different than base, you could put a flat amount and then do a promotion discount off of that. And then the group ID, the priority and the group ID are going to be used in a coming soon. Currently, by default, the only thing that the priority will do, and it is important to note, so it's not informational only now, is actually if I have multiple promotions that are in effect at the same time for the same item and the same customer, it will only apply one, and it will apply the very highest priority one. So whatever is priority 10, that's the one that it's going to apply. So I should say the lowest number, the highest priority, right? So if I had 10, 20, and 30, it would go out and apply the 10, and the 20 and 30 would be ignored. The next tab over, once I get the general filled out, is I do have the ability, and again, compound cards, you can create this. I actually have a different view where I added this all into the one card, but promotion comments, so you can add comments in here regarding this promotion. It could be things you want people to know when you first create it. It could be something that came up mid-promotion that you want to note so that if anybody has any questions, they can come back here. However you would like to use the comments box, it is an internal comments box. It does not print anywhere. It does take date, timestamp, and user stamp who's added the comment. So now I have the outline. Basically, the general tab gives me my outline of my promotion. The next two tabs that we need to address are the customers and the items that are included within this promotion. So both of them have several different ways that we can add to the list. For customers, I can add customers by their customer number, so individually add specific customers. I can also add customers by their customer class, by their buyer group, which actually looks at the customer enterprise. We call it buyer group. If you use enterprise for something else, you could do it by enterprise, but this is how we control customers that are part of a buyer group. You can also do it by entity group, by market analysis code. You could have promotions for specific sales reps and promotions for specific states. Or on any of these, it doesn't have to be an include, it can be an exclude. So the states is a good example. I may put in, I'm going to create market analysis code group. So anybody who is in my architecture marketing analysis group is going to get included in this promo, except if you are in Hawaii or Alaska. Right? That would be an example. You know, maybe it's a free freight promo. Again, except if in Hawaii or Alaska. So these are the ones that we have. We are always open to discussion about any additional ways that you might want to slice and dice, but out of the box, all of these are included. When I add, remember I said include or exclude, and we'll take a look at that in the demo. So you can build a fairly complex list of customers that you would like to receive this promotion. Item criteria in the same manner. I can select this individual item number. If I'm doing a flat pricing, I'm going to have to choose individual item number. But if I'm doing a discount percent, I can do them by item price class, by item accounting class, by item sales group. So what that looks like. If on the left side, I have a net price option, I go to select an item, I hit create, and I can choose immediately whether I'm going to include or exclude the record. I enter in the item number specific. I can put in a quantity limit. So we do have a feature that says they only get this promotion applied up to the first 100. I would then put in my net price amount in this case, and I would hit create. Now I can do it by item number for a discount or a multiplier. So that's why this particular template has all three options. But if I'm doing net price, I can only use the one that has the item number. If I'm going to do a create by an item sales group, for example, that's the right screenshot. Again, include or exclude. I'll select the appropriate value, in this case, the item sales group. And then I will fill in either the multiplier or the discount for that item. And then I will put in a quantity limit if I'd like one. This level here overrides anything that I put in on this first screen. So essentially what I can do is I can leave it blank on this first screen and fill out here with different percentages based on different item sales groups, if I wished. There are several statuses that go through this process. So when I create a brand new promotion, immediately it goes into a new and unapproved status. We do have a light approval workflow built automatically into this. So what will happen is that after I have created this, I'm going to go through a series of generating of all of the files, making sure that everything gets calculated correctly. I'm going to do a system check on things, and it will go in for submitted for final approval. So once I am happy with the way it looks, I submit it for final approval. At that point, again, depending upon your workflow process, the promotion needs to be approved. It can be the same person who simply goes and approves it, or it can be something that is triggered via email using publish and subscribe in XA, or just simply through a work process flow where they go and check for approvals that are submitted. But at that point, the promotion will be reviewed, and it can either be approved or rejected. If it is rejected, there is a rejection code that needs to be selected. If this was approved and it has reached the status where it is past the original expiration date and has fallen into that extended expiration date, the status will change to tentative expired. So that tells me that, hey, we're actually past the expiration date and we're just honoring this for a little while. And once it has fully reached the end of that period, even, it goes straight into expired. So my steps, again, I create it. Once I've created it, I need to go in and I need to generate the results. So what generating the results does, and this is just through a menu option, once I've created the promotion, it comes in, it's unapproved and new. I'm going to generate the results. It's going to take a look at all of my customers and all of my items and essentially create two separate lists, a list of customers and a list of items that are going to be included in this promotion. If the terms override is being used, then I am going to have the opportunity at the generation point to come in and change the terms in the override field. So what it does is it pulls in, based on the customers, their actual terms. And you can see in the screenshot in the top half about the fifth column over is terms. Those are the terms that came in from the customer header. The next column over is my override terms, which now have to be adjusted based on the days that I have said I will extend it. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a couple of slides, but that's where that occurs. The key here is you're going to review to make sure that you got the right customers, you've got the right items. If your generation was successful and you're happy with the lists, then you're going to submit it for approval. And when you submit it for approval, it will actually create a file that has every one of those combinations for every customer, for every item. So it can be a very big file, but it does look at customer item and it starts to do some of the calculations for you now, where you're going to see what the promotional price is. It will calculate the margin. All of these things will become available. It is at this point that one can come into the list, and if you have set that allowable gross margin and the margin calculated for an individual customer item is below, it will appear in red. So this is your indicator that says if I have anything in red, I need to go and look at why this is below. Is it acceptable, or do I need to remove this customer item from my list? In addition, this view also turns blue any lines in which the promotional price is higher than the customer's calculated price. Again, it's a warning, but it is a very good warning to have that says, hey, look, it's better for the customer not to be part of this promo. So when you submit for approval, you can review all of this information, as should the person who is going to approve it. When someone comes in to look at a promotion that is now submitted for approval, they're going to click on the little checkbox to approve, and they're going to get a pop-up box that says, do you want to approve this? Yes or no. Blank means, oops, I'm not going to do anything. I got some questions. I'm going to back out of it. But I can set it to yes or to no. I select the owner. The owner is the approver. So this is not the owner of the promo. So the wording might be a little bit confusing here, but the owner is the approver, which is a separate code file. And if I reject, I need to give it a rejection reason. Once it has been approved, it can now be used in CSM. So this is the extended term screenshot, and this is at the end because, again, remember, this can be used with any promotion. It can be used with a free freight promotion. It can be used with a net. It can be used with a discount. On any of those, if I extend my terms by a certain number of days, then I need to go in once I've generated that customer list, and I need to push out all of the terms appropriate to the number of days that I've extended. And the reason why this is done manually is because different customers could have different terms, right? So I might have a list of 15 customers, and within that list, I might have 4 or 5 different terms codes that exist in them. So we need to review those and push those out 30 days. The thing that is important to note here is it is using your standard terms code. So the term of whatever they have plus 30 days in this example must already exist in the terms code. You have to assign it a valid term code for CSM to recognize and be able to process it through invoicing. So you may need to set up an additional term code or two in order to support this functionality. Think about that as you're planning out any promotions that use extended terms. If you forget to do this step, you will actually get an error message when you try to submit for approval, in which case you'll have to either go back and remove the number of extended terms, or you'll have to set up the terms that are missing. So there is a stopgap there so that you catch yourself. So let's take a look at what it looks like in CSM as I enter an order. Standard CSM order entry is used. You go through your standard order creation process. The promo comes into play at the line item level, just like all pricing really does. So what you can do is, what we typically do, we recommend is setting up two different templates. So you have the manual template and the auto template. If I choose to set up the auto template, then I have that set in the background. It automatically calculates. I set auto to yes, or promo to yes, and I simply put the information in. That promotion will get grabbed based on the priority and brought into the order. If it's manual, then that template is going to have an additional field that's going to say what promo. So it's going to have a radio button that says yes or no. You're going to change it to yes, and you're going to choose which promotion based on the promo ID number, which you can search. What's important to know is when I expect to see the pricing for promotion. Those are the bullet points there that says manual applied after order is posted, or auto applies immediately. Auto will apply immediately because the logic automatically grabs and calculates upon create. For a manual apply, I actually have to create the item, post the order, and then it will do the calculation. And I have to go back in and make sure that it posted correctly. So there's a little extra work with the manual. Something to note as well, in our current edition, manual can be applied to any customer, even if that customer is not included in the promotion itself. So if that is something you like, leave it as is. If that's something that you don't want to happen, then that will be a part of our installation with you to limit that ability. But right now, a manual promotion can be manually applied to any customer. If I apply a promotion to a line item, I do get a line item comment that will appear on the invoice below that item that lets them know the promotion that they received. At this point in time, all it's giving them is the promo ID and the promo description. But it does let them know specifically that they got a promotion for this item and where that promotion came from. If it is a freight, it will be a header. Currently, we do have in the current version, there is a order header for every single promo that applies. This got a little bit confusing, so we're looking at pulling this out. So I apologize, this slide deck is about a month old, and we are working diligently on this as we speak. So this feature here, where it says order header comments list all promos, that's no longer the case. The only thing that appears here right now is a freight promo. So let's talk about what we have coming, because there's a lot here, but there's also a lot of opportunity to improve this product, and we're well aware of that. Again, it's in its infancy, and so we want to get some features out right away. The nice part about being with Guide products is that as updates come, you automatically can get those. So these updates may be in place before you implement. They may come in afterwards. You will get them anyways. So future enhancements. We're looking at doing multiple and compounded promotions. So that is where that group ID becomes important. We have this already partially built, but what essentially will happen is that you will be able to create a group promo, and you will be able to assign existing promotions in a priority order to that. We're going so far as to say, as we create those groups, you may want to have one that is just multiple promotions, which means that if a product is $10 and I apply promotion number 1, which is a flat discount of $2, then it goes down to $8. And then I apply promotion number 2, which is 10%, it's going to go back to the $10 price and calculate 10% of $10 is $1, and they're going to get a total of $3 off. Okay. Compounded would be, I first apply the $2 discount, take it to $8, then I apply the 10% discount, and that's 80 cents. And so now they're really getting $2.80 instead of $3 off. So we are developing a group promotion in which you will be able to choose which way you want that group to work. And then you will be able to add the promotions in the priority order in which you want them to be applied. We're also looking at amount discounts. So right now we have a flat price and we have a percentage off. We are looking at an amount off. So in other words, I don't want 10%, I want $2 off. So that will be coming soon. We're also looking at quantity and amount limits. So again, we have right now we have a quantity maximum, but we do not have a quantity minimum requirement. So we're going to institute a quantity minimum, and we're also going to look at dollar amounts on both ends. You have to spend X number of dollars, or it stops once you've spent X number of dollars. We're looking at the freight promotion. I mentioned this several different times. The freight promo is a big area of opportunity as far as I'm concerned. So we're working hard on introducing where the freight promotion will actually add the special charge line item to the order directly versus a comment. So we will give you other options as well, not necessarily free freight, but we will give you the option to set how much that freight will be for the promo. So maybe it's not free, maybe it's only it's at $50 of freight or a flat dollar amount of such. And then what we will do is, based on special charge templates, you will assign the correct template, which may or may not include your costs for that freight, and add it directly to the order. So there will be a little bit of setup there in the promotion area for free freight, but a lot of opportunity to save some of the keying and some of the accidental misses that somebody doesn't read the comment correctly. The allowable gross margin, right now it only appears as a red on the promotion itself when you're creating it and reviewing it. We are going to develop a warning message over on the order entry side, so that if when entering an item and a promo gets grabbed below the allowable gross margin, you will also get a warning at order entry. We're also going to improve the options. Right now, the least allowable gross margin requires that you can only set that value based on the market analysis code in the customer class. That's kind of clunky, so we're going to look at the same options that we have on the promo being available to set the gross margin. We're looking at some invoice printing options so that we can see if we can list the promotions out on the invoice, not just as a selling price override, which is what it does today, but also to see if we can't list it and show the calculated price, each of the discounts, and then a net price calculated. So you essentially can have it itemized or summarized. And then we're looking into a BOGO feature, so a buy one, get one free feature, but it doesn't necessarily have to be buy one, get one free. We're gonna offer some things like what is the quantity they have to buy and at what price are they going to get the additional item. In that case, you would have a line for, let's say it's buy two, get one free. So we would enter in a line item for two, and automatically the system would add another line item for one at the price designated. That would show the promo. So we've got some things going on in there. These are all things we've committed to. These are all things that we are actively working on with development. But we are also always open to new ideas. For the future in a roadmap, an extension of this product that we see two very obvious, useful, and much needed extensions to this, which is using the same structure for rebates and for commission tracking. We're looking at the same files, we're looking at the same information. This is going to be more internal facing, less external facing to customers, but developing a series of files that allow you to do rebate and commission reporting and tracking much easier based on all of the different criteria that you can have: markets of customers, price groups or item groups, all of the information, again, that we see in the promos, we see being able to be applied to the rebates and commissions. We're working through our immediate punch list that I just discussed earlier, and then we're going to move into blowing this product out into some of these additional add-on products. So again, we're going to be looking for customers who are interested in an opportunity to work with us, help us get ideas here. I think there's just huge opportunity. We see it. We just aren't quite to this development yet. All right, so very quickly, we've only got about 15 minutes left, and I definitely want to leave a couple minutes for questions. So let me go ahead and let's see, you can see my puppies for a second. Let me go ahead and get over into promotions and discounts. So I am in Netlink right now. For those of you who may not be familiar with the Netlink environment, just bear with me because we did some rebuilding and apparently right away it's going to have a little bit of a temper tantrum on me. I have a backup of PowerLink in case we need to. I am not in a 10 environment, which is part of my problem. This particular environment where we have promotions has not been upgraded yet because of this demo. So, let's see. It could be my internet. Okay, we won't waste any more time on that. I will go ahead and launch my PowerLink over here for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this. And that is not the right screen. That is not the right screen at all. I apologize. Love demos. This is why live demos are always our friend. Let's try this again. Let's see if Netlink wants to play a little nice with me. That may be my problem. Okay. When installing the promotions package, you will get a new tab. And your new tab will say promotions. Again, you can customize this however you wish. But we have a promotions tab that appears, and just like the screenshot I show, we have price deviations, customers, items, approvals. This is an approval detail that we've added since, and then the promo history. Let's take a look at price deviations, and we're just going to quickly walk through kind of a quick overview of what things look like and how to create one very quickly. So you'll see we have some color coding in here based on whether it's expired or active, whether it needs to be reviewed or not. Essentially, I can come in here and review all of my different promotions. I can search over by descriptions, by end dates and start dates, by the type of promotion it is, who the owner is, all of those good things. To create a new one, I'm going to use my standard white piece of paper create, just like I showed on my PowerPoint. It's going to automatically give me a promo ID, and I'm going to choose my type. So in this case, I'm going to do a flat discount, and I'm going to hit create. And as you see, I added the promotion comments over here, just a little cleaner, but I give it a description. So this is going to be my webinar promo. And in the internal description, I'm actually going to say that this is 10% off MAC code, and I don't know which one I'm going to choose yet. So I'll come back and fill that in. It's going to be requested, again, by myself, but I could choose any number of people. I'm going to start it today, and I'm going to end it November 30th. You guys couldn't see because of the screen shares, but I got my little calendar pop up. Manually apply required. I'm going to say no. I want this to auto apply. Price increase allowed. No, I'm going to honor this for the entire time. If somebody does change the pricing in here, I don't want it to affect the promo. I want it consistent. And I'm not going to include any excluded items. So really, I'm good here. I am going to, just for demo purposes, put in the number of days to extend the terms, and I'm going to make that 30 days. I'm going to come into my customers now, and I'm going to pick the customers that I want to include. So I'm going to go to the appropriate tab down in here. And I said I'm going to do this by market analysis code. So I'm going to click on this guy, and then I'm going to do the create. So I choose the appropriate tab, and I create from there. And in this case, I'm going to do include records. And I want to include any records in which the market analysis is this promotion code. Now, again, I could then go to another tab, and I could set up an exclude here, or include a particular customer that I know doesn't fall within that market analysis code, but I want to include them. I could do multiple market analysis codes. I could choose to exclude this one particular sales rep. Okay, I got an error message. Love that. I might have put in a bad sales rep ID. In any event, I build out my matrix, and you can see how quickly you can get pretty complicated. Same with the item criteria. I could get pretty complicated in what items I want to include, but maybe it's as simple as just saying any of the items in the sales group here, right? Or let's see, 830. I think 830 is a good one. There we go. And then do I want to do this as a multiplier, a percent discount? In this particular case, I'm going to do a multiplier. So I'm going to say 90. And I'm going to say my quantity limit is 1,000. I can, again, add to this if I wish. But at this point, that's all I needed to set up. My promotion is essentially created. I have my market analysis code that I've picked to include my customers. I have my group that I've picked to include my items. And I'm going to go ahead and create this. I'm going to post it. And when I post it, you'll see that it immediately comes in as new and unapproved. I can come back in and change this. I can work on this later. It's not gone anywhere. It's just sitting here. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and generate it, which gives me my customer list and my item list. I can do that through a menu option, generate results, or I can use a little toolbar icon. And when I come in, oh, I get a little pop-up over here on my other window that says generation function has completed successfully. So now if I go in and I take a look at my generation results, I will see all of the customers and all of the items that are included in this promotion. So here's my customer list, here's my item list. At this point in time, and you'll see here's my market analysis code. At this point in time, I can get into my override terms. So right now, I know I have set this guy up to be a 30-day override terms. One of the options that we are looking into is, can we expedite this? However, right now it's a manual process. So I will use my quick change and I will come through and set this guy to 60, which I should know off the top of my head, but I don't. Oh, and this is one of those, some can be used in purchasing and some can be used in customer service. So I have a different 60. There we go. And this one again is going to be 60. This guy here is a 1% 10 net 30. So I need to find a 1% 10 net 60. Do I have one? It doesn't look like I do. 1% 10 net 30, but I do not have a 1% 10 net 60. So I would have to actually select that. Now, if this particular customer, I didn't want to extend their terms, there's an exception for them. I could actually come in here and set their terms up to be the same, except that I have to pick a terms code that's going to work. Okay. In this case, for demo purposes, I'm just going to go ahead and put it in for this. Actually, I'm having a problem with that particular customer. So I think I'm going to go ahead and delete them. Again, I'm going to set up these guys. It is going to require a value for all. Yep. We have run into this, and this is an error in our system that my programmer is working through. So I'm just going to go ahead and clean these up for demo purposes. So I have 2 customers, and I have a lot of items. Again, if I had not changed them, the very next step is to submit this guy for approval. And when I clicked submit for final approval, it would have actually yelled at me and said, hey, you have met terms you need to set up. But in this case, I've done that. So I'm going to go ahead and submit it for approval, where I'm going to get a little message that says my function has completed successfully. And now what I actually see is my approval details. And again, this is my home internet. I apologize. It wasn't Netlink, it was Julie. Oh, okay. My home internet is really, really having a fit. There we go. So this is a line for every single customer item combination, what the customer selling price is, what the promotional price will be for them. And this appears to not have the promotional price working. So that's going to be part of my problem here. Let me come into this guy. If at any point in time I decide this doesn't look right, I don't like this, I need to make a change, this is actually works out in our favor. Sometimes that happens in a demo. I have the ability to reset. So this little arrow guy here resets my status and takes me all the way back so that now nothing has been generated or approved. And now I can make changes. Something didn't work the way I wanted it to work. And it could very well be because of some of the issues that I'm having here. But I'm going to come in here and I'm going to make a quick change that says, I'm going to go to discount percent for 10. Let's see if that makes a difference. I'm also going to make sure it shouldn't make a difference here, but I am going to put this in here. And I'm going to generate. Okay, because I redid this, I do have to come back in here and reset these codes. And now I'm going to submit that for approval. Make sure that my status here has changed. It's in red, it's submitted for approval. If I was someone who just did approvals, I might be in the approval object here, and I might have this set to only look for things that need approved. And here we go. This guy just popped up. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at it, see if I like it. It's going to open back up into the approval details. I don't see any reds, makes sense to me. Now I've got my promo price applying correctly. Yep, those look reasonable. So I'm going to go ahead and approve it. Now I could do it from here, or I could have done it right from here. I have the same checkbox. Sort of like credit holds, right? I can do a credit hold release from a customer order, or I can go to the credit hold object. In this case, I'm going to say yes. I'm going to select from a different set of approval users, myself. We can set that to default. We can set security around that. And I'm going to update this. It drops off of my list here. If I was somebody who was working with promotions, I would now see the status has changed to approve and active. I can now use this to create a customer order. Quickly in customer service, I'm just going to do a quick screenshot for you guys. I won't go through the whole thing given our time constraints today. I just want to show you how this appears. And again, I apologize for the connection speed. All of us who are familiar with XA know it's all dependent upon your port internet. Here we go. So if I look at this guy, you'll see as I added items, and again, I have a template that I have set up that I choose to use based on what I normally do. So my promo auto, or I might have a promo manual that I can select. Promo auto just has in the background that yes, I have a promo active that I want, if available, to use. Promo manual actually has me say I would like to do a manual override and what's the promo ID. That's the only difference between the two. It takes the promotional price and puts it in as the selling price, so it does a selling price override. That's how it actually enters into COM and appears on the invoice correctly, is a selling price override. It does record the promotion that you went against, and within this view, I can see the non-promo price and the selling price. I can see that a promotion was applied and the promo ID for that. Once multiple promotions are in, it will indicate whether this was a multiple promotion. From here, it's treated just like a selling price override. Obviously, we can do a much deeper and detailed demo for any of you who might be interested. I apologize because I know I went right up to the limit, so I haven't left my teammates much time here, but I will go ahead and stop talking and turn it over for any possible questions that we may have.
Julie, we did have one question. Mark asks, and this is kind of rewinding a bit in your presentation, he's asked, is state the ship to state?
That is a great question. I honestly, off the top of my head, do not know for sure how it was built, but we should be able to take a quick look at that. Because if I go into one of these and I go into state, oh, it's going to yell at me about maintenance, but I should be able to look even at the column. I'm going to guess and say right now that it is based on customer. It is not based on ship to, only because nothing else we're doing is based on ship to. The promotion itself is assigned by customer, not by ship to. I would confirm that for you. We can definitely do that. But yes, my instinct is to say it is customer.
I'd agree, Julie. I think that's what it is.
All right. Are there any other questions? We are up on time, but would be happy to answer any last minute questions if you have those. And if not, you are looking at the screen. Randy Kenny is the gentleman who you can contact with any further questions or comments.
Yeah, absolutely. My email is there. Feel free to reach out if you'd like a more personalized, in-depth demo. We can certainly arrange that.